Hi guys, welcome back to the new video of AZ Tutorials, and today in this video you will learn to make a login and registration form using HTML and CSS. As you can see on my computer screen, here I have one login form and you can see two buttons over here. When I click on register button, it will display the registration form, and when I click on login button, it will again come back to the login form. You can see these buttons are moving smoothly from login to register and register to login. Similarly, I have applied smooth transition on login and registration form also. So you will learn to create this login and registration form using HTML and CSS. Before starting this tutorial, I will request you to please hit the like button and also subscribe if you are new on my channel. Now let's start this tutorial. First, I have one folder here, and in this folder I have one HTML file, one CSS file and one image for background, and you can see some social media icons also. Now I will open my text editor, which is brackets editor, and this is my HTML file and this one is CSS file. You can see I have already connected HTML file with CSS with this line of code. Now we'll come to the body tag, and here we will create one div, and the class name I am using hero. In this div I am creating one more div, and this time I am writing class name form box. Let me copy this class name hero and write it into the CSS file, and for this one we will write height 100% and width 100%, background image, linear gradient, and this color. Here we are using linear gradient because we will add one layer over the background image. So this is my image file name banner.jpg for background image. Next we'll add background position, it will be center, and background size, it will be cover. Let's add position absolute. Now we'll open this HTML file with Google Chrome. Now you can see this background image and one dark layer over this background image. Next we will copy this class name form box, and for this one we will write CSS code. First we'll write width and height. Position, it will be relative, and margin I am adding 6% auto from left and right. Background, it will be white, and let's add some padding 5 pixels from all sides. Now you can see this white color of box on this web page. Now we'll come to the form box, and here we will create one div, and the class name I am writing button box. Let's first copy this class name button box and write it into the CSS file. For this one we'll write width 220 pixel, margin, it will be 35 pixel, and auto. Position relative, and here I am adding box shadow also. Next, border radius, it will be 30 pixel. Let me reload the web page. Now you can see some shadow over here which is very light. Next, just come to the HTML file, and here we will add one button. Type, it will be button, and let's add one class name toggle btn, and the button text is login. Duplicate this one and write register. This is the second button. Reload the web page, and you can see these two buttons over here. Now we have to design it. Let's copy the toggle button, write it here. Then we'll add some padding 10 pixels from top and bottom and 30 from left and right. Cursor pointer, background, it will be transparent. Border 0 and outline none. Position, it will be relative. Reload the web page. Now you can see some changes in this button design. Next we have to add color in this button. So here I am adding one div, and let's add one ID btn. and just copy this ID, write it into the CSS file. And for this button ID we will write top 0, left 0, and position it will be absolute. Width it will be 110 pixel, height 100%, and background linear gradient, and this color code. Border radius it will be 30 pixel. Then transition I am adding 0.5 seconds. Let's reload the web page and you can see this background color for the first button. Now after creating this button we will create one more div, and the class name I am using social icons. Here we'll add icons, so I am using img source and the file name which is fb.png. Let's duplicate it and change the file name. This one is for Twitter and this one is for Google. Let's copy this class name social icons, write it into the CSS file. Here we will add margin 30 pixel from top and bottom, and left right auto. Text align it will be centered. Let's duplicate it and here we will add img for images. So width it will be 30 pixel. That's it. Reload the web page. You can see these icons over here. We have to change its position. Let's come back to the HTML. Let's see where we have added it. Okay, so just remove it from here and add it here in the form box. That's it. Reload the web page. Now you can see these icons at right position. Come back to the CSS file. Here we will add margin 0 from top and bottom and 12 pixel from left and right. Then I am adding walk shadow. And cursor it will be pointer. Now you can see some space around these icons. Let's add border radius also 50% so that you can see these icons in round shape. So after this social icons we'll create form, and let's add one class name here. So I am using input group. Then I will add input and type it is text. Let's add one class name input field, and placeholder it will be user ID and required. Just duplicate it and change the placeholder. It will be enter password. Now we'll add one more input field. Type is checkbox and class name is checkbox. Then we'll write text in span. So I'm writing remember password. Next we will create one button. So I'm using button. Type it will be submit. And let me add class name submit btn. And the button text is login. So after reloading this page you can see this two input field, one checkbox and one login button. Next we have to design these fields. So just copy this one input group, write it here in the CSS file, and here we will add top 180 pixel, position it will be absolute, width it will be 280 pixel. Next we'll add transition 0.5 seconds. Next just copy this class name input field, write it into the CSS file, and for this one we'll add width 100% and padding it will be 10 pixel and 0. Next I am adding margin also, 5 pixel from top and bottom and 0 from left and right. Next I am adding border left 0, border top 0, border right 0, and border bottom it will be 1 pixel solid and this color. Next I am adding outline none and background it will be transparent. Let's copy this class name for button, write it here, submit btn, and for this one we'll add width, it will be 85%, padding 10 pixel from top and bottom and 30 from left and right. Then I'm adding cursor pointer, display it will be block, margin auto, and background here we will add the same linear gradient background. So let me just copy from here and I will add it here. Next I am adding border 0 and outline none. Border radius it will be 30 pixel. Just reload the web page. Next we have to design the checkbox. So just come back in the HTML file and copy this class name checkbox, write it here, and here we will add margin 30 pixel and 10 pixel, 30 pixel and 0. Let's copy this span, we'll write it here, and for this span we'll write color, it will be this color, and font size I am changing to 12 pixel. Next is bottom, it will be 68 pixel and position absolute. Reload the web page and you can see nice design for this checkbox. Next we will change the font family. So just come here in the CSS file and here in the global selector we'll write font family sans serif, so that you can see different font family for complete web page. So this was the login form. Next we have to create the registration form also. So just come back to the HTML file and simply duplicate this complete form. And here we will add one more input field, and this is email ID. So here type I am writing email and the placeholder is email ID. This text I will change, so it will be I agree to the terms and conditions, and button text is register. Reload the web page and you can see these forms are overlapping each other. So just come back and here we will add one ID. In the first form I am adding one ID login, and in the second form we'll add ID, so it will be register. Let's copy the first ID login, write it into the CSS file, and for this one we'll write left 50 pixel and just duplicate it and write the second ID. Let me just copy from here and we'll add it here, and for this one we'll add left 450 pixel. After reloading the page you can see this login form is coming at its perfect position, but the register form is coming next to this login form. Next we have to add some click event. When people will click on register button, the background image should move from left to right and the form should move from right to left side. For that just come back to the HTML file, and in this button we will add one event on click equals login, and in the second button I am writing register. So these are two functions. Now just come to the bottom just above the closing body tag, and here we will write a script open and a script close. Next we will add var, which is variable, x equals document dot get element y id. We will copy the id from here, which is login, write it here. Just duplicate it and copy this id register, add it here, and this is y. Let's duplicate it and write it z, and copy this id btn, write it here. Now we'll copy this function register, and here we'll write function and paste this one. Then we'll write x.style.left equals minus 400 pixel, and y it will be 50 pixel, and for z we will write 110 pixel. So let's reload the web page and click on this register button. So now you can see this background color of button is moving from left to right, and the form is also moving from right to left side. Similarly, we have to add click on login button. Just duplicate this one, and here we will write the another function which is login, and here we will change the value. It will be 50 pixel, and this will be 450, and this will be 0. Let's reload the web page again. Now you can see these both login and register button is working perfectly. When I click on login, it displays the login form, and when I click on register, it displays the registration form. But right now the other form is also visible, so we have to hide the second form. For that, we'll come back to the CSS, and here in the form box we will add overflow hidden, so it will hide the second form. So let's reload the web page, and you can see only one form. When I click on register, it displays the register form, and when I click on login, it displays the login form. So as you saw, it was very easy to create a login and registration form with a toggle option. So I hope this video will be helpful for you, and if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment section, and don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you so much for watching this video.